Afternoon, YouTube. So today will just be a quick thing with Summoners Wars. Basically, the whole thing was, you know, after the Twins' pretty big nerf. I mean, race it can still be done where you kind of do the TOA normal. Hard, not so much. I only got to I think level 50, and that was it. Like I couldn't really go further with the way they were. Basically, if they were still useful, like even after the nerf, like in terms of farming, is I still use them for dragon raids. I still use them for the Lich King, and they're actually pretty useful. Still, I think that they're okay. Like I'm not a speed guy or anything, but just to show, like they are pretty useful. Here is going to be in terms of the dungeon to see how they go. Like I said, they're really useful, so we'll see how they do. Yeah, like I said, they're still pretty good. Not like I really wish that they would have kept them the way they were, saying for the third time. But that being said, it's still not bad. It's good because I'm kind of lazy. I really don't like building new units if I don't have to. So that being said, this is who I really use. Of course, you don't have to use the Archangel. You can always use any sort of healer. Another one I use is typically the Wind Sky Dancer. That's also another one. The only reason why I kept him was because because he gets the immunity, so he pretty much has a chance, yeah, see, like to just wipe it out to allow my twins to kind of keep going. So that being said, you really don't need him, not that I know of, and I also have Ramos up there, so he gives my twins like a little bit of a speed and an HP boost, because they're really squishy, especially after the certain percentage, after when the dragon goes below a certain percent, he dishes out way more damage. So that being said, that's why I have him for HP speed. I mean HP leader. That's why I have him there. Also, he's good because he every time he goes, he pretty much gets rid of all their DOT debuffs. So yeah, that part's really good. Sorry, that was way too loud. I just need some background music. There you go. So yeah, they actually do pretty well. Don't get me wrong, I still fail sometimes, depending on the RNG, but other than that, it's actually not that bad. No, and that will be that. Also, going back now, Necro. They do extremely well on Necro, actually. Let me see. I just need a 30 for now. They actually have a really high success rate when they're going against Necro. Only reason why, because Necro does the, he's immune to everything for 7 hits, I think. Like I said, Archangel is not really necessary when it comes to, especially for this stage. Chazun or any sort of healer will really do. Yeah. I'm very happy that Come To Us actually put the event for the light twin. It does help a lot because one of the stupid king's abilities is to take away the unit that does the most damage and kind of play for it. So basically, before I had light, the light twin he would always take my fire twin, and it'd be a bitch to get back because I have two boomerangs. So without her, it kind of was it was almost like a loss. But after getting her, it definitely helps a lot. Because now if she takes one twin, I can still keep my combos going in terms of wiping them out, wiping this guy out. Sometimes if I'm really lucky, he doesn't even get a chance to draw any of the creatures, any of my monsters to fight for him. Sometimes they get good DOTs. It doesn't really matter one way or another. At least in my runs, he always takes away one of them, temporarily. Other than that, not bad at all. So this is how it's actually working. After this, I'll do some raids to see how it goes. And I wasn't happy with their changes for the raids, because that just means that more newer people with not as experienced monsters can join, and that doesn't really help. Okay, so that would be that. And here are the raids. Depending on how long it takes, I may cut out some parts. You may see some skips, because sometimes it takes a long time for people to come in. Excuse me. Basically, this is my raid team. Before the buff, I used to have an additional placement. I used to place the twins over there, and I used to have healers, or I actually used to have sometimes the Monkey King to take its place, but his passive becomes pretty useless afterwards. After he gets what's it called, Oblivioned. Raken is really good for this particular match, because he has immunity, and also his third attack isn't a passive; it's just a percentage to strike. Panda, not great. Actually, he is okay, but when it comes to him being Oblivion, he's kind of useless. And Fire Panda is really good. I was too lazy to get the Fire Panda, but very useful. So typically that would be actually consist of my other team, and I would probably have a Chazun in the other team as well. Okay, I don't know how this other player is going to do, but we'll see how this works. Those who are new to raids, front line defense is very important, especially against them. I think one of the dragon's ability was, he does more damage if you have less defense. Let me see. I think it was, yeah. Yeah, so basically having high defense is actually a pretty good thing that you have to have. Like I said, some people, like for example, the Broken Shield guy, he has basically a buff that just helps out pretty much his team. But that being said, sometimes they're actually pretty good. Sometimes they're not. They're just, in a way, just makes it harder, because that means me and someone else may have to carry the team. Some people ask why I have what's her name? Like I said, bad memory. Why I have Sierra. Sierra is a good nuker in this case, and I know majority of the time it depends on if her bomb sticks, but she's probably the better nukers that I have, and that can actually take a shot or two before dying. Most other nukers, like I think the Clown, can't really do it too much. Also Jameer, or Jameer, however you pronounce it, really good. Especially with his ability to cleanse and pretty much getting rid of all the debuffs. That, and also my Anvil also does the same thing, gets rid of all the debuffs. Very useful. And then I also have the Karate Girl for nuker status. And those who are new, basically, my Diaz, what he does is he, stops around, a certain percentage of damage coming from the dragon, as well as if the dragon has a debuff in attack, that also adds on to his 30% damage reduced. So it's actually really good, especially for the higher rates, like 5. So it's always good to have, I guess, a creature that has a multi-purpose type of thing. Archangel, yeah, he's just there to heal, but also he has high defense, so that's why he's in the front lines. Yeah, this team actually, it worked out pretty well. We did our job, and always the most frustrating part is seeing what we get after victory. A lot of times it's mana or some crap like that, or crap I really can't use, but at least it's good for selling. But if that's the case, I'd rather have mana because they give more for it. Yeah, that's pretty much how the raids go. Oh, sorry. I think. Yeah, he has a lot of immunities, which is pretty good. I did hear rumors about like a particular team wiping out like this dragon in like a minute or so. I haven't really looked up YouTube to see if someone did that. I'm sure they did, but that's crazy hard. Basically, you have to have a lot of ignore defense for that to work on a dragon. For this dragon, sorry, I forgot his name. Let's call him Three-Headed Dragon. Also, the newer guys who want to do raids, make sure you don't bring anyone that's like DOT or AoE stun, because that's completely useless. And a red flag that I've seen is Varamos. If he's in 4 in this raid 4, he's probably not going to do well. One or twice I've seen them doing okay, but majority of the time Varamos is completely useless unless if you're looking for his ability to remove a buff, which in that case you can find in many other monsters as well. That being said, Varamos is almost completely useless because his first attack does nothing because DOT doesn't work. His second attack does absolutely nothing because it's supposed to stun, but they're stun immune. Basically, yeah, he's pretty useless. Also, I've seen people trying to bring in Okeanos. Not a good choice, especially when I would say a chance is his first ability, which is able to transfer a debuff from him to the dragon. But other than that, he's completely useless. His second ability, puts him on cooldown, puts the attacks on a cooldown, but that's useless because he's the dragon. And his third is his AoE stun, which is also completely useless. So there's some like red flags to really look into. Penguin Knight, another one. Don't use him. The Wind Penguin Knight, he's almost completely useless in this stage. I've seen people actually trying to bring him. I don't know what they're thinking. That, or they're just like brand new and just don't understand what this thing can do if you don't know. Also, Tiara, also completely useless. The only thing her third attack can do is to remove all debuffs. But that being said, it's a double-edged sword because it can remove all of your buffs too. And on that, it's completely useless because her second attack is, does damage based on the amount of speed that the enemy has, and I know this dragon does not have a lot of speed. Yeah, those are some of the main things to look up. Oh, and the dragons too. No good. Dragons are no good. With the exception of probably like my Jameer or maybe the Wind Dragon. But if that's the case, if you're looking for any sort of creatures that can bring the attacks, the attack bar down to 0, there are a lot of creatures that can do that. I mean, yeah, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know there are a lot of creatures that can bring the attack bar down to 0. So. Also, what sucks about raids, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned somewhere in my video, is they have to get rid of this crap, like the waiting. People don't realize that if you leave the game and you come back to it, you're still in the phase of playing the game. So he's probably either went AFK, put his phone in his pocket, came out, and turned the game back and realized he's still in the raid, but actually we're all done. But that being said, I think Comtus really has to put some sort of notification with that to let people know, or at least make raids kind of like a single thing. Like you could do it by yourself. Just debuff the dragon a lot. I think this is honestly, the worst. Like having to go online and hopefully waiting for good people to join, and that's if you have good people to join. I really wish they would change it to solo. You can do this solo. And playing online also just drains the hell out of my battery. Like my phone becomes like red hot, and I have to just wait for like the whole thing. Just wait for people. So it's more of a negative, and even if you get all that, it's only a possibility you get something decent. So it's really difficult. I know I was with one really good group. We were actually raiding for a good 4.5 hours. We just kept refreshing our energy using the crystals. Just kept going and kept going, kept going. And out of all those raids, I got nothing that was useful. It was unbelievable. I think we were all frustrated because we all had similar results. We would have either, I mean, angel mods I kind of need now because I have a lot of stragglers I could get rid of. But stuff like mana, okay, I get a little mana once in a while is fine. But we would get these like stupid steady little runes that I don't really need. Like basically what I would need is like either what everyone else would need, immunity or violent or revenge, stuff like that, stuff I could use, and just didn't happen for those 3.5 hours. I remember it was in the afternoon and it was going dark. Like that's how long we were going. I was surprised that the team that I had like kept going, and we actually kind of made friends and started chatting and BSing about everything. But that's how bored you get, is you can't do anything else. You have to wait at the screen until the game is done. I think that's the worst part too, like one of the worst parts, because I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good in a way where if you're at work and I mentioned this in my Tower of Ascension video, you're at work, you kind of want to leave your phone in your pocket and leave it running, you can, but at the same time you can forget. Like that's why this poor guy that I'm playing with, we were at the raid screen, he probably forgot for a little bit or something. I think they really have to change that. That's why, and sometimes also, like how Broken Shield left, it was a possibility that he probably lost temporary connection. Once you lose connection, that's it. Like you're finished. You get kicked from the game, from the game. I mean, you still finish the battle. You get your reward, but you're gone, and you can never see those good teammates again, or whatever. That's why I think that's my biggest complaint with the raids. Is raids have to be at home. I have to be comfortable. I have to play. That being said, also I can get phone calls. That sucks if I get phone calls, because I lose it. Like I mean, I don't lose it, but that means I go to the screen and now I'm behind and they're gonna be waiting for me depending on the phone call. Yeah, like don't get me wrong. You can always pick up the phone, minimize, go back into the game and whatever. But that's if like the phone call is not important or something like that. See, like right now my phone is already getting pretty hot just after a few games in. So I think that really has to change. That being said, yeah, I think Energy, and they're actually pretty good teammates, but the other guy left, and I wasn't in the mood to wait anymore. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. I will try to post up another video with Home Sweet Home. Problem is, I'm getting a little like I said, I love horror games, but shit, man, when I'm when I'm doing that myself, it's a whole different story. I can watch all the horror movies, watch people play all the horror games, but when it comes to me doing it myself, I don't know, man. That being said, that's pretty much going to be a quick video for now. Yeah, I have trouble loading up Modern Warfare and doing, because I was gonna put up a video on some quick play for Modern Warfare, but the thing lags every time I try to record, so might be taking up too much CPU. I'm hoping it's more the fact that it's in beta. I'm really hoping that's the case. I know it's not. I'm pretty sure it's not though. So yeah, that being said, I'll try to post something else up later. Have a good evening, YouTube.